Good evening. Now this isn't Lutheran Church, so you can say good evening back. Just wanted to take a few minutes to welcome everyone tonight. It's always a wonderful evening, bringing back our famous alumni and friends, distinguished alums, Hall of Famers. We have beautiful weather for you again. We have a wonderful evening planned. We hope you'll be able to make all the activities this week. On behalf of the foundation at NSU, my name is Todd Georgery. I'm the president and CEO. I've been back here for 13 years, which for most that know me feel like about 50 years. But looking around the room and seeing all the friendly faces, we're just really pleased to have you all here tonight. Lots of stories, most of them untrue. Webb King was talking about how I was such a great basketball player. I love guys that are starting into dementia. The way he would tell it is Walks and I were best friends, and I was one of the best players that Northern ever had. Thank you, Jeff. Really appreciate that. We got 100 coming your way. We want to thank Sharka for playing, but she left about 15 minutes ago. So.
She's here.
Oh, where is she?
Right here.
Please stand, Sharka. She's a senior piano major working towards her Bachelor of Music Education from the Czech Republic, which is just west of Roscoe, 600,000 miles. For those of you that haven't been to one of these in the past, I have a pat joke that I use. Since Dr. Smith has moved on, I thought I'd pull it on the new president. We were going through the enrollment numbers a few days ago, and we found out that we actually have about 230 international students on campus now, which is very good. I don't know how many you had back when you went to Northern, but it's a very diverse campus, and I think there's about 40 countries, 30 to 40 countries in 230. And I had to correct him the first time he was speaking because he said we had about 230 international students, and I said, no, we have 228. We have 2 kids speaking German from Roscoe. That was my joke. See, we got one fan back there. You thought that was pretty funny, huh? Well, anyway, enough of me. I would like to introduce to you our 17th president of Northern State University, Dr. Tim Downs.
Good evening, everyone. Well, it's great to recognize alumni, and I found there's a store in town, and I went shopping, and it had a T-shirt that says "Old Guys Rule," and for the theme for the night, it says right below that, "The older I get, the better I was." That might fit. But I'm real happy to be here this evening to be the MC. I'm very much honored. Thanks, Todd. So we have a talented group of people here this evening. And they're going to be inducted, and if you read your program and look around the room, you'll recognize many other distinguished alumni as well, from past years and a number of previous Hall of Fame inductees. So could we have those people stand? Anybody that's prior to that one? With nearly 25,000 graduates around the world being honored is a wonderful tribute to all of you and your talents. and your abilities in your days at Northern. And all of you have had many successes since graduation, and we're very proud of everything you've done in your affiliation with Northern, so congratulations. Before we go any further, we also need to talk about Gypsy Days and the celebrations. No Gypsy Day celebration is complete without the crowning of the Queen and the Marshal. Joining us this evening is the 2060 Gypsy Day royalty. This year's Gypsy Day Queen is Devontae Robertson. And Devontae is from Morris, Minnesota. She's double majoring in elementary and special education with a minor in reading. Her parents are Kara Robertson and Chad Klein and Randall Robertson. Devontae has been an active member on campus in CEC, Residence Life, SDA, and has been volunteering for a number of community agencies. She's just everywhere. So congratulations, Devontae. This year's Marshal is Harrison Homovig. Harrison is from Bowman, North Dakota. I asked Harrison if he was named after Harrison Ford. He said he think that may be true. The son of Jeanette and Lauren Homovig, he is majoring in communication studies with minors in political science, philosophy, and music. And while at NSU, Harrison has been active in the NAFME speech and debate, Residence Life, and Trio. And the debate team last year took second in the country. So he's got a name too. So Gypsy Day, the royalty, it's a great tradition. Last night I got to go to a big roundup and to see everything that happened. And the Gyps came down and they gave us a gift, a very large check. I don't know where I can cash it, but it was for $41,500. Which goes for scholarships, and that's very important. Scholarship funds are critical to us as we try and get students to come to school and leave with as little debt as possible. So this evening is one of the highlights of Gypsy Day. It's an opportunity to not only recognize the accomplishment of Northern alumni who have made significant contributions in their professions and service to their communities. We're here this evening to publicly recognize you and to let you know that we, members of the university, take great pride in all you have achieved. We also want to let you know that whether you were a graduate of Northern Normal and Industrial School, this throws back memories, or if you're a graduate of Northern State Teachers College or Northern State College or what has now become Northern State University, you'll always be a member of what we all call the Northern family. So thank you for all that you have done to make all of us proud that you're affiliated with the Northern community and our extended family. We should give you all a round of applause. So this is my I don't even think I've done 100 days yet. But one of the reasons why I was attracted to Northern is because of the community and the great people. People of South Dakota, people of Aberdeen, and everybody that's affiliated and supports Northern. So it's a real special place to be. So with that, I'd like to introduce Josh Boone. He's our athletic director. And we're going to begin the evening with Josh coming to the podium and announcing some of our inductees.
It's always good to have your wife there to cheers for you when no one else does. So appreciate that, honey. Thank you. Good stuff. Well, thank you, President Downs. As he mentioned, it's really an exciting time to be at Northern State University. A lot of good things are happening on campus, and with the athletic department, we're going to honor 5 individuals tonight from the athletic side. And the Hall of Fame is the highest honor we can bestow on our student athletes. Next to graduation, this is the best of the best, the elite of our program here. So congratulations to all our honorees tonight. I'm going to introduce Coach Kurt Frederickson to lead us off tonight. Before I do that, we're going to he's going to introduce Lori Hartman. And Lori is from Wisconsin. She brought cheese curds today.
Woo! Thank you.
So Lori, you're my all-time favorite Hall of Fame inductee because I love cheese curds. So thank you very much. So if anybody wants some cheese curds, I've been picked over a little bit. So, Coach, I want to come up here. Coach Frederickson has tallied 4 Hall of Fame honors. NSU, the NSIC, NAIA Hall of Fame, the South Dakota Coaches Hall of Fame. He's won 2 national championships, numerous NSIC conference titles, NSIC conference tournament title, and he was a 2-sport All-American student athlete for the Wolves in football and baseball. He's in his 38th season as the coach at NSU. He owns 796 wins, so this year he's going to hit 800, which is just remarkable, and has the 2nd highest winning percentage of all active NCAA Division II coaches. Please welcome Kirk Frederickson.
Thank you. It's my honor to be here tonight to introduce Lori. I always remember them by their maiden names, and she was Burkhart to me, and now she's Hartman. Kind of took us a while to find Lori, but we finally found her and got her inducted into the Hall of Fame. Lori earned her bachelor's degree in recreation business from Northern in 1981. Participated in basketball, softball, and track while in school. And she's here tonight because of basketball. I don't think because of track or softball.
Freddie, is that you on the coach who stood in for that picture? Okay, go ahead.
Now I know why that kid laughed at you back there, Pat. During Lori's career at Northern, she scored 1,434 points, which puts her 7th place in the all-time scoring at Northern. And she got 772 rebounds, which puts her in 13th place. And 76% free throw shooter. Scored 543 points in 1980, 1981. In 1981 was the first time that we ever had a team go to the national tournament in Kansas City, Missouri. And we ended up 3rd that year in Kansas City. And obviously she was one of the reasons why. She was first team all national tournament. And you know, probably one of the top 2 offensive players that it's been my honor to coach over the last 37 or 38 years, whatever it is. But just an extremely talented young lady. After graduation, Lori played on many state championship softball teams down in the Yankton area, became the superintendent of recreation in Yankton, retired in 2010, and presently lives in Wisconsin with her husband and her 3 children, which are here tonight, and she'll probably introduce them to you. Some things that I remember about Lori, she was about as quiet as a mouse in college. You couldn't get her to talk. And one of the reasons is because of some of her teammates that talked all the time. So she never had a chance to get anything in. But she played on a very talented team. Of the 5 starters that played in that team when she played early, 4 of them now have been inducted into the Hall of Fame. Myrna Becker and Beth Barnes are here tonight. Wendy Swanhorse has been inducted, and she played on the same team as Lori. So they were pretty talented, and I would love to say that I recruited Lori to come to Northern, but I didn't. In, I don't know when it was, 1977, Diane Evans, who coached the Northern teams for a while, decided she didn't want to do it anymore, and Dr. Kretschmann wanted to penalize me, so he named me women's basketball coach over that crew back there. And, you know, with the late Jane Nicolaisen and Beth Barnes and Myrna Becker, that was quite a threesome personalities right there for a 25-year-old young coach to try to take care of. We were just talking about it back there that Beth was saying she got suspended for 1 game when she was in college because we had a nice storm and they called the college game off, but I called practice that night and she decided she wasn't going to come. So she just didn't come to practice. So the coach had to suspend her for a game. But that's what that crew was like. But on the other side of that, just to show you the talent that group had, when Lori played, the record of her teams were 23-2, 24-4, 26-3, and 28-4. That was the record of the teams when she played. And she was a small forward at 5'10", 5'11". She came from the basketball factory of Yankton High School. The old Bob Winters, quite a legendary coach down there. Actually, Beth was a year older from Yankton and came to Northern first, and I think told Lori that some good things about Northern, and that's one of the reasons why Lori came to Northern. We had an admissions director at the time by the name of Dan Woolman. For some of you old Aberdonians, I think you remember the name, Harris Woolman's son, who used to teach at Northern. But anyway, Dan was a former college basketball player, and he was also worked in the admissions department. So he did a great job of recruiting these girls that were in Northern when I took over the job. So I kind of fell into a gold mine when I first started coaching and got, had a lot of talent right away, and I didn't have to recruit them, they're already here. So that was fun. The one-loss record of her teams ended up being 89%. But, just like I said, she was an outstanding individual, outstanding basketball player, and more than deserving to be in the Hall of Fame. So please help me welcome Lori Burkhart Hartman to the stage.
Thanks, Coach. What an honor to be inducted in this Hall of Fame. And I want to thank the nominating committee for giving me this honor, and to congratulate the other nominees this evening. I also want to thank my parents for being at my side for my entire high school and college careers, and traveling to the games when they could. My dad made the trip with us tonight, and I know my mom would be proud too. So I'd like to thank my family who also made the trip, my husband Bill, my two sons, my oldest Tim, his wife Jessie, Sully, Mira, and Lisa, my youngest son Brett, and my daughter Kira. Without you making the trip means the world to me, and more than what you know. It's hard to believe it's been 35 plus, give or take, a few years since I was part of this special time. But I never dreamed that I'd become a part of the Hall of Fame. I just love playing basketball and hanging out with my teammates. When there was an open gym, I was there. And basketball, is a team sport, and we all worked hard. And I was surrounded by a group of talented players that really we just interacted well together. And without them, I couldn't have accomplished what I did, and we couldn't have accomplished what we did as a team. So, and a few of you, as Coach Frederickson said, are here tonight, and thank you for coming, and thanks for helping me make this happen. Also, I want to take a minute to honor my teammate, Jean Nicolais, who also passed away earlier this year. Thank you once again, Coach Frederickson, for giving us the opportunity to play and develop. It was a great 4 years, and I feel I grew as a person during that time. I hope I made my teammates better players as they did me. And remember, Coach, we were your first team, and we were the ones that started your dynasty. Finally, I want to thank the university for providing me the opportunity not only to participate in basketball and numerous other activities, but for providing me with a solid educational background. I was fortunate enough to be able to take my education and enjoy various employment opportunities, working with youth and adults in recreation and child development. I was able to return back to Northern a few years ago for the Decades Team Reunion, and I was amazed at how the university had grown and I see today that the growth continues and the opportunities are gone. Thank you again, and go Wolves.
Our next Hall of Fame inductee tonight is Jeff Lupking. Jeff earned a Bachelor of Science in Secondary Education, Industrial Arts, and Physical Education. That's a lot of words there, Jeff. In 1976, as a student at NSU, Lupking played basketball for 4 years and accumulated 1,261 points, which is 22nd all-time, and 1,076 rebounds, which is currently 3rd all-time. In 1994, Lupking was inducted into the South Dakota Amateur Basketball Hall of Fame. And in 2011, he was inducted into Sioux Falls, Washington High School Athletic Hall of Fame. In 2007, 2009, 10, and 11, Lupking was chosen as Region 7 Assistant High School Basketball Coach of the Year by coaching in Avon. He also was awarded the South Dakota State Technology Program of the Year in 2013 and 2015. He retired in 2015 after 39 years of teaching and 30-plus years of coaching. He resides in Avon, South Dakota with his wife Monica. They have 3 children. Jonathan, who is a Minnesota State Moorhead. For some reason, you lost track of him here, Jeff. He works at Moorhead in the athletic department. We won't hold against it. Jennifer and Nikki. Please help me welcome Jeff to the podium.
Congratulations to all the other members and inductees this evening. It's quite an honor. What a group to be associated with, and what an honor it is to be chosen for the Hall of Fame. Thank you. I wish I had my dad's prowess for public speaking, but I don't. So a lot of you know my dad. He could stand up and talk forever, but I'm not that way, so I'll try and do my best. Thanks to my family. First of all, John, who's up in Moorhead, he just took his 5-week daughter home from the hospital today, so he couldn't make it here. We're thinking about him. Jen lives in Okoboji. She's taking care of our other sick grandson, and we'd like to thank their families. They couldn't make it, but they're here in our hearts. But my daughter Nikki is here. Thank you for coming, dear. She's from Watertown. Thanks to my sister Jill. She's here tonight. And my sister Jan, she couldn't be here. She's out in California. It's a little long for her to get here, so whatever. We got a very special thank you, though, to my mom, Barbara, who's here tonight, and my dad, who left us a few years back, but Milo, for all they did to help me through my life. Mom just celebrated her 90th birthday. Mom was our biggest fan when I was playing. I got sick one week, and I don't know if it was a flu or just dorm food or whatever, but I was pretty sick all week and getting better towards the end of the week. We went up to Jamestown to play, and I wasn't going to play, but Watch wanted me to go along just for inspirational purposes, I'm sure. But Mom called, and I said, no, I'm not playing. I'm going to go with the team, but we're coming right back, and this and that and the other thing. Get up to Jamestown, and all of a sudden I look over, and my mom's walking through the front door. We lived in Sioux Falls. And I said, Mom, what are you doing here? She said, well, I didn't have anything else to do. I just thought I'd come up and see my son. You know, back then it's not going to make you cry, but it sure does now. But that's what kind of fan she was. Thank you, Mom. A very special thank you to my wife. We didn't meet during college, but at my high school Hall of Fame induction, I forgot her. And I apologize. She's never forgiven me since. I got her in tonight anyway. Thank you, Northern State, for all the opportunities you afforded me throughout my career. If it wasn't for my teaching degree, I wouldn't have been able to meet all the administrators, teachers, students, have contact with those type of people for the last 38 years of my life, and all the coaches that were involved in there. It was just a wonderful, wonderful experience. I think this is kind of the point where somebody once said you can tell some stories about basketball and walks and everything else, and I thought, well, this may not be the place to tell some of those stories. But it is a place to say thank you. And, you know, all the athletes that are in the Hall of Fame and those athletes that participated in the sports here at Northern, we're all a testament to the coaches and the teachers and the staff of Northern. You're the ones that deserve all the accolades that are given out, and don't ever think you don't deserve them, because you do. Thanks again to Aberdeen. What a wonderful place. Got the best fans you've ever seen in your life up here. They're great. And that's also one of the best things about playing here is the fans. Thanks to all the guys that I had the pleasure to play with and against. I have made a lot of friends that we played against over the years. But you know, the guys that played with, we had 5 players on our team. Billy Christensen, some of these names you'll recognize. Tim Mulher, Gary Cruzy, Rich Andrzejewski, myself. And just kind of tooting our own horn, my own horn, along with theirs, we scored 6,800 points between the 5 of us. And a lot of people look at points, and it never was anything we did. It didn't make much difference who had 30 points or if you had 3 points, as long as you won the game, had some fun, watch didn't chew your butt too bad, you know, it was a good night. Tim Mulher and I, between the 2 of us, we pulled down over 2,000 rebounds. And nowadays guys get, you know, 300, 400 rebounds. They think they're pretty good, but I don't know. But it wasn't bad for a bunch of South Dakota kids, you know, so we had a lot of fun playing together. When I was accepted into the Hall of Fame, they asked for a list of my accomplishments, and I knew that wasn't going to take very long, so it got me thinking about all the good times we had as a team and all the friends we made up here through our years at Northern. I don't remember a lot of things that happened during the games, and that's been 40 years ago. You know, my mind isn't quite that sharp. But what I really remember is that all the friends that I made as a result of playing on a great team with great teammates. Nobody ever complained about playing time because you knew you were going to help the team either in practice or in a game. And, you know, we had the greatest guys to have together on the team throughout all those years. We even had the opportunity, like I said, to make friends with the guys we played against. And we're still friends. That made me realize that the accomplishments that I had made at Northern were lifelong friends, and friends I'll never, ever forget. Bob, Singer, and for that I am truly, truly grateful. Thank you. I'm sure I forgot somebody. I'm sorry for that. But you know, when you get my age, your mind starts going. But thanks a million to everyone for coming out tonight. And thank you for this truly great honor. And I'm going to cherish it for the rest of my life. Thank you very much.
Okay, I'm going to ask Coach Frederickson to come up and introduce our next inductee.
Memory Johansson is the next Hall of Fame recipient that I have the pleasure to introduce tonight. Memory is a Tolstoy graduate, not a graduate, but that's her hometown, which is, for people that don't know, probably about 70 or 80 miles southwest of here. Memory graduated magna cum laude from Northern in 2001, received a degree in biology, minor in athletic training. Memory, like Lori, is one of the 12 women's basketball players to score over 1,300 points and get over 600 rebounds. She also is one of the career leaders and assists at Northern with over 400, so she did a little bit of everything. Probably as much as she did off the court, I think Northern is just as proud of what she's done, or excuse me, on the court, what she's done off the court. She received a Master's of Science in Physical Therapy from Des Moines University in 2003. In 2012, the Date Book awarded her the Best Physical Therapist in the Des Moines area. 2014, she started her own physical therapy clinic, Maximum Physical Therapy, in Adel, Iowa. Memory also has run in marathons in Des Moines and San Francisco and participates in many different CrossFit gym competitions. And I understand today she went downtown, they already almost threw her out of class for hurting people during the CrossFit exercises. She lives in Clive, Iowa with her children, Samantha and Tate, and her favorite activity is watching them play sports. Probably, as long as they, let me give you the winning percentages of when Memory played. 1997, 23-6 NSC Championship. 1988, 15-12, 99, 26-6, and 2000, 19-9. Went 83-33, winning percentage of 72% in the teams that she played on. I know that we always took pride in trying to get the best local players around this area because we've had some good women's basketball teams and players. My wife and I used to referee a lot. And I remember more than once going out to Holden, and because Memory was so aggressive with the way she played, she'd always have a tendency to get in foul trouble, and my wife would always be the ones calling fouls on her. And I told my wife more than once, we're trying to recruit the girl, do you think we can maybe not call as many fouls on her so she doesn't have to sit on the bench? And that actually happened. But she's extremely competitive, and I guess when you grow up on a farm with a couple brothers, you learn to be. Her work ethic is unchallenged by anybody. Very rough physical player for 5'9", and I think when you see her up here, she could probably step in and play on our college basketball team today. Just a couple quick stories. I know one of her best friends now, Natalie Braun, who's with Coach Kruger in the entryway out there. They were extreme enemies in high school because Warner and Holden had the two best high school teams around during that time. And they just absolutely hated one another. And we just happened to recruit them both to come to Northern. And Coach Frederickson had those two be roommates their first year at Northern State. And since then, they become best friends. And so that's good. The other thing is, I was talking to my son last night, and he asked me who was being inducted into the Hall of Fame. And I mentioned the names, and of course he was probably about 10, 11 years younger than Memory at the time, but he also was hanging out on the bench all the time. And he says, oh Dad, he says, I remember when she played, and you called timeout late in a high game, or we're behind one, and you set up a play for Jennifer Murphy. And Jennifer Murphy shot and missed the basket, and Memory got the rebound and put it in. And I'm thinking, man, that kid's got a pretty good memory. But that would be Memory, because Memory probably was saying under her breath, I can't believe he didn't call the last play for me. Because that's the kind of person she was. But one of the most extremely competitive players that I've ever coached. And, she just laid it on the line every time she played. So help me introduce Memory Johansson.
Sorry. Thank you, Coach Fred. So I have this book of papers up here. I've been thinking a lot about what I wanted to say. I have so many things that I wanted to say. I'm so honored to be up here. I never thought that I would be up here. I'm so blessed. I played with 2 other players that have been inducted that helped that winning percentage because I wasn't the one scoring very often. That was Jamie Coyle and Amanda Kuska. I was very honored to play with those 2 that have already been inducted, but I didn't get here by myself, and I really want to thank everybody, so I might be up here a while, so if you have to get up and go to the bathroom, I understand. This is a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and I just don't want to miss anybody. It's very important to me. I'm going to start with my family. I have a little collage of brothers over there. My basketball career started off in a driveway with a slanted driveway with a basketball hoop on the garage. And Dad would come in from combining, which we're shocked that he's here today. Everything had to shut down at the farm. And he would come in at, it would be about 9 or 10 o'clock, and Dad would come in from the field, and I would say, "Can we shoot baskets?" And every time he would say yes. I know this now because I come home from work and I have children that want to do things, and that's the last thing. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have laundry, I have dishes, all these things, and never once did my dad say no. So here we are out in the driveway, him in his cowboy boots. We usually play horse. Eric would almost always join us, and I don't think I ever beat him once. So let me tell you, he can shoot the basketball, and he taught me a lot of things. And I appreciate all the time that he took with me in the driveway. He started my journey, so I really thank him for that. My brothers, Eric, Corey, and Kurt, they're all sitting over there. They were all very supportive. Eric played a lot of basketball with me also. My 2 older brothers would hit or miss out there and shoot some baskets. They came to most of my games that they could make it to. They all went to SDSU, boo. So they had a little drive to come watch me play when I was in college, but they sure made it there to watch me play, and it was very nice of them they could make it. They were all very happy for me and positive and supportive, except for Eric. He beat the crap out of me in the driveway every day, but he's there for me now, so I thank all my big brothers. They made me aggressive, I guess is the word, that I was when I played. That was one of the things that made me play that I could. I wasn't very tall for my position because I was not a shooter. So playing the 3 spot at 5'9" on a good day on my tippy toes made me have to be pretty aggressive to be able to hold down the fort. My mom, she was probably my #1 fan. Probably the loudest fan in the crowd, usually at the refs or Coach Fred. She's done a lot of cheers. She knew when to leave me alone after the game. She knew when to hug me after the game and be happy. In high school, the uniform was always ready. The bag was always packed. The food was always there. You know, the perfect sports mom. But most importantly, I was perfect in her eyes. I don't think I ever made a mistake, ever had a bad play, a bad pass. It was always somebody else's fault. So I thank my mom for that. She did give me my competitiveness. I always thought that it was my dad. I'd play cards with my dad, and you know, at the age of 6, you're supposed to let your daughter win. Never happened. So I always thought it was my dad where my competitiveness came from, but I've learned in my old age that it's a lot of my mother. So I thank her for that. My family was a rock for me to stand on. Even my sister-in-law, Tina, who's here, she was like the first one to congratulate me and say how happy she was for me, and she never saw me play a day. So I have a very supportive family, and I appreciate them all being here, and I thank them for making the trip. It's hard to leave the farm this time of year, so I really appreciate it. On to how I got here. It all started in Tolstoy, South Dakota, population 5 maybe. In Tolstoy's gym, I went to a grade school there, and we did have a gym in the grade school of 10. I was the only one in my class. My brothers were there, a few other kids, obviously. If we got done with our schoolwork that was written up on the board, we could go to the gym and shoot. So I was done by like 9:45 every day in the gym. So that's where it all started, and then on to the Hogan Greyhound. I was blessed with an amazing high school coach who happens to be here, Coach Ruth. He actually started me in 7th grade. I don't think he coached me in 5th and 6th grade. I had a lot of head injuries playing, so I don't remember much. I was trying to think back at things. I'm like, oh, maybe because I had 5 concussions in college. But he coached me pretty much through touching a basketball they let me come up into a basketball camp when I was a 4th grader, as a 5th grader, until I was a senior. He was there. Wow. Well, let's just say he ran Nikki Jensen and I all over the state every summer. My mother never saw me. I think for 3 summers in a row I wasn't home on my birthday. He took us to all the campus stars, to the Bob Winter Camp, the Yankton Camp, pretty much all over South Dakota to get us exposure and to let us play. We did team camps and all those things. Coach Ruth was very intense. Intense to the point where if he would get mad, he's heard this 100 times, slam chairs and very badly jam his finger in the chair as it flew across the gym. He demanded the best out of me in every practice and everyone else. I was lucky to have him as a coach and Nikki Jensen as a teammate. From our freshman and sophomore year, we grew a great friendship and a basketball bond that Coach Ruth was part of. He coached to our strengths. He allowed me to play, pretty much drive, get in the air, and find Nikki Jensen with a dish. So that was kind of our offense, which changed a lot when I got to Northern. He always picked me up when I was down, many tears at many camps, many hugs. I was kind of hard on myself and a perfectionist, so if I didn't make all 10 free throws that day, I think I was in tears that night in front of him. He was there for every camp to coach us through, picked me up when I was down, pushed me every day of my life to make me better. He knew my dream was to play college basketball, and he definitely was the reason I got there. It was an amazing ride through Hoven High with Nikki with me too. Nikki came and played at Northern for a few years. She was my best friend in high school, for sure, and a great teammate. And well, we were kind of the Hoven duo. That meant the Warner duo often. And it was a great competitive high school season. But I couldn't have done it without Coach Ruth and without Nikki to help me get there. And then I come on to Northern. So how did I get here to Northern, you may ask? Well, Coach doesn't know this, but he probably has to thank Paula Stolzmark and Julie Jensen. As a young child, I came to Northern's camp. This is a problem, I can't remember anything. I think I was 6th grade, Natalie might remember. I think that was probably the first time I ran into her elbows. We came to Northern's camp, and they were our counselors. And we were supposed to be in bed, but I don't know if you know those two. There's no bedtime with Stolzmark and Jensen. So we would sit up in rooms and talk, and they'd tell us about Northern, and we would sit there and listen. And as young girls, you wanted to be them. You wanted to be in their shoes. I also had Chad and Scott Buckelhide as my coaches that year. Scott was my team coach, but they both coached my group. And I maybe had a little bit of a crush on him, so that didn't hurt the Northern factor. So here I came to Northern. I knew before Coach even started recruiting me that if he would ever stand on my doorstep that I would say yes to Northern. I said no to SDSU, by the way. So when Coach was on my doorstep inviting me to Northern after reffing a couple games, and I knew when he showed up, he didn't know this, that I would not follow out because I never did. So I played pretty aggressive when they were reffing my games. I was always a little bit extra nervous too. I was very overwhelmed and excited to play for Northern. It honestly was my dream. I moved into Dirty Hall, as he said, with my biggest high school rival as my roommate. What are you doing? So yes, Natalie and I grew up going, oh man, we battled and we battled and we battled and we battled at the Barnett Center and everyone come watch because it was Braun versus Johansson. And he put us as roommates. And he had the nerve to tell her to calm me down. And I was the good girl. But from the day we moved in, I don't know, we just hit it off. And she had my back and I had hers, and we became best friends. Best friends who happened to be fighting for that 3 position that was open as Tony Schmidt left. Every day we battled, every day I ran into her elbows. You think I'm a physical basketball player? Natalie was much more physical than I was. We beat each other up every day at practice. really beat each other up, and then sang Bye Bye Miss American Pie, climbing up 4 flights of Dirty Hall stairs because he thought it was awesome to have us up at this top. I don't know how we did it, but we became best friends. I admire her so much for her basketball skills, how she overcame what seemed to be endless injuries, her faith, and her sense of family, and her loyalty, and she's my best friend, and I wouldn't be here without her. So thank you. But along with her comes Jessica, who, I can't remember, and I was thinking, either fouled me out or gave me the 4th foul with 10 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Coach Ruth put me in to drive down and shoot a basket, and I ran her over so hard because she knew exactly what I was doing, drew a charge on me. I don't know how I didn't split the back of her head open, and then I had to sit the bench. Jessica was a very smart basketball player, one of the best shooters behind Jamie Coyle that I've ever played with. I was blessed to play a little bit with her. Her career got cut short. But she also, her and Natalie both, they were like my sisters here in Northern, and they helped me, they picked me up, they encouraged me. There was a competitiveness there between us, especially Natalie and I, but you would have never known it. I mean, gosh, we became best friends. So Northern gave me some very good people in my life. I had Amanda McCuska that I played with, Jennifer Murphy, who became a good friend, Nikki, Natalie, Jess, all these people that become your family. You don't realize it when you get here, but they become your sisters, especially when you don't have any. Amanda and Jamie were amazing. They were already starting. I believe I don't know the logistics, like I said, head injuries, but they were starting as sophomores. I believe they started as freshmen in college also, and when I came on, it was pretty tough starting as a freshman. A lot to go with it, a lot of plays to learn, a lot of stress, a lot of tears. And they were there and they picked me up and they showed me through, and Jamie and Amanda were the best leaders that I've ever experienced in my life, and I thank them. I wouldn't be here. I had to learn like 290 just shuffle plays, so there's way more than that in Fred's offense. And Coach Fred, well, I haven't forgotten about you. I mean, how could I? I had nightmares for 4 years of you yelling at me every day. My relationship with Coach started off as a freshman. It was pretty rocky. I got yelled at a lot, mainly because I didn't run the play. I was coached by Coach Ruth where memory could do what memory wanted and get in the air and find Nikki or shoot the ball and you'll be fine. Well, that wasn't how Coach wanted it. He didn't like me diving into a bunch of pile of people and throwing the ball out of bounds. I don't understand it. But yes, Coach was very, very good for me. He knew how to get me to play the best. That usually meant to be pretty hard on me. I made a lot of mental errors. I got caught up in the game. I got very competitive. My feet got going faster than my head was going. And I wasn't the best shooter, so I'd get myself in some troubles, and I would hear about them. But he knew how to get me at halftime. He knew exactly what to say to me, and I probably played better every second half than I did first half for him. He demanded intensity, he demands perfection. That's why he's won. When we were with him, it was 600, I believe he got him. Now he's close to 800. So if you want to be coached by the best, you come to Northern. You learn his program, you trust him, and you run the offense. I learned that at a very young age. So thank you, Coach, for believing in me. I was kind of a risk, and I appreciate everything that you believed in me for, and that's why I'm here. My experience at Northern was nothing but perfect. From the community here, for being a women's basketball team and filling the stands. We had such great community support, to being in the classroom where I had some of the best teachers. My biology and athletic training minor led me to be accepted to DMU PT school, which is pretty tough to get into. I went into there and it wasn't hard for me. I had a great base education and good study skills, and it was because of Northern that I became successful in being a physical therapist. I branched off and started my own practice, and it's going very well. And Northern has some excellent people here in and out of the classroom. Lastly, Sammy and Tate, I haven't forgot about you. You might be asleep over there. Thank you for being here with me this weekend. There's a few sporting events that they'd have to miss. and they gladly kind of did it. My daughter's very active in soccer. She also plays basketball. Unfortunately, soccer is her first love, so I'm learning soccer. She also plays basketball. Tate is still a multi-sport kiddo. He's a lefty, so everybody wants him on their team right now. So I enjoy every weekend going out and racing from one soccer game to the next, then to flag football, then to basketball practice. You name it, that's how my weekends are. I love you guys very much. I hope you know that you can be anything you want to be. That's what my dad always told me. So maybe someday you'll be up here. But I want you guys to watch out for a girl named Memory Johnson. Because there's one in town, and she may be the next Northern basketball player here. Brian, thank you for being here with me. We had the drive last night. We made it at 1 a.m. It's a little haul from Des Moines, and here I am, and I'm so honored to be up here. I also have a couple of angels up there in heaven. I think you guys that played with me all remember Grandma and Grandpa. They never missed a game, along with my parents. I might add, my dad had missed maybe 1 or 2. My mom never missed a game. Grandma and Grandpa came to every home game. They were there cheering loudly. Grandma was our biggest fan. Grandpa he had Parkinson's, so he'd wander in and get into his spot. Grandma could move a little better, and I was always worried she was going to storm across the court and tell Coach what she thought about him yelling at me, but she never did. They would be very proud to see me up here right now. They loved watching basketball, and they were huge Northern fans and supporters, and I miss them greatly. So I thank them for being a part of my life also. So I didn't try to keep you too long. Congratulations to the other inductees. This is quite an honor. Northern is an amazing school that I only dreamed playing basketball for, and then this is just unreal to be standing up here into the Hall of Fame. So I thank you all for being here, my family for being here, and go Wolves.
I am now honored to introduce Coach Fran Hummel, who will be presenting our last Hall of Fame award tonight. Fran was inducted into the NSU Hall of Fame as a Kretschmann Coaching Award winner in 2006. He was a longtime wrestling coach at NSU, was the 1986 NAIA National Coach of the Year, led the Wolves to the 3rd place national finish in 1985, and coached national champion Dave Harvey and tonight's inductee Eddie Clark. Fran went on to be the athletic director at our opponent tomorrow, Minot State University, so that's a little irony there, that'd be fun. And Hastings College in Nebraska, and now he fishes a lot, I've heard, and hangs out in Arizona in the winter. Please help me welcome Coach Fran Hummel, who will introduce our next inductee.
Oh, thank you very much. It's great to be back in Aberdeen. I'm heading to Strasbourg tomorrow, so right after the football game. I still have brothers on the farm, and it's harvest time, and I look like an able body. I'm really not very good at farming anymore. It's been too many years. Before I get started introducing Eddie, we do have a wrestler that I want you to keep in your prayers. He's an inductee, our former heavyweight, and he played football for us. Chris Lund is having some serious health issues, and just keep him in your prayers. He's a great kid. My wife and I live in Lee Summit. I drove up here this morning. The weather, like I said, was gorgeous. I'm just honored to be here to introduce Eddie. Just a little bit about the beginning of it. There's a guy sitting here tonight, I think, that has helped recruit more wrestlers at Northern than I ever recruited. He's sitting right here, Bob Hirsch. He's been inducted, and I think every coach in the state knows him. I think 99% of the parents in the state know him. So Bob was probably one of the reasons we got Eddie Clark to come to Northern. So Bob, the finder's fee check is in the mail, so it's not very big, but it'll be there when you get back to Watertown. Recruiting Eddie was, in those days, recruiting was maybe a letter. You didn't have cell phones, and but what people don't know is right across the street from Eddie's house was Bill Hughes, who was the head coach at Black Hills State University, the head wrestling coach. And, You know, I think a lot of us that were coaching and recruiting Eddie thought there was a given that he would go to Black Hills State, you know, hometown and all those things. And we were just tickled when he came to visit at Northern and decided to attend Northern State. He was state champion at 112 and comes from a great wrestling program and had great high school coaches, and I'm sure Eddie will talk a little bit about that. But you know, there's a few things that you remember about kids that it's been 28 years since I've seen Eddie. And the minute I walked in, it looked just like the minute I met him the first time, that great big smile. He was one of those kids that whenever he came into the room, he always wanted to learn new moves. That was one thing that if you were happy with what had happened in the past, the moves that you were teaching the kids, you had to stay on your toes because Eddie was always trying to learn new things, bring in new things into the room. He was more or less like a student coach and helped us a lot get to where we were. You know, he came in on a team that was pretty tough and ended up making the varsity and, you know, kind of setting the pace as a freshman. You come into a team that's a very good team and you are on the varsity, that says a lot about you. Not only that, but I think he was one of those kids that he didn't have any trouble with the classes. He didn't have any trouble talking to you off the mat. He could go by you in the hallway and he would be just as friendly. He didn't have this thing about, you know, having his head up in the air and thinking, well, I don't talk to coach. I might say something that upsets him or whatever. We always had a great relationship and always got along very well with him. You can all read the program that talks about all the things he's done, but he got his bachelor's degree in 1989, and I coached here until 1991. And like I said, when Eddie was here, I want to give this back to him tonight. The last time I saw Eddie was he walked into my office and he gave me this plaque clock. And I don't know if he remembers this, but that was the last day of school, and he walked in and I was in my office. He says, "Coach, I've got something for you." It says, "To Fran Hummel, a man who is more than a coach, couldn't have done it without you. Eddie, 1988. So Eddie, I'm going to give this back to you at the end of tonight. I hope you think about me when you look at it, in a good way. So he wrestled from 1984 to 88. He had over 100 career wins. He was an NSCI and SIC champion, a 4-year letterman, a 4-year starter at 134. And he was also an NEIA All-American at 134. And he received the Clark Swisher Outstanding Athlete Award in 1988, which is every sport on campus. So that was really pleasing. We never had a wrestler that had that before, and it was just great for Eddie to get that award. Currently, he's a physical education teacher and head wrestling coach at Star Valley High School in Afton, Wyoming. Eddie has coached seven state championship teams. He's also been named State Coach of the Year 7 times. He won the 2003 Region 7 National Wrestling Coaches Association Coach of the Year, and he was the 2011 National High School Wrestling Coach of the Year. Now, this is what struck me when I started kind of going over these stats, you know, on these inductees. This just blew my mind. His dual record is 362, 59, and 1. That is one lot of screaming, Eddie. It's a miracle you still have a voice. That's over 400 duels. You realize how many times coaches holler while kids are wrestling? That's pretty crazy. At Northern, I had 116 dual wins, and I thought that was crazy. He's had over 400 duels he's been in, which is just unbelievable. They live in Afton, Wyoming. His beautiful wife, Christy, is here tonight. He has 2 sons, Trevor and Trent. Please help me welcome one of the best kids that ever went through the program at Northern State Wrestling, Eddie Clark.
Thanks for having me here. This is amazing. When you start into your career or into your athletic career, there's a lot of things you never dream of being, and being a Hall of Fame guy is just something you never picture. You don't think of that. I'd like to thank a lot of people. I'd like to thank the Alumni Association for putting this together and honoring us. I hadn't, we wouldn't obviously be able to do all the things we did even back when we were athletes without the Alumni Association. I'd like to thank the athletic department, Mr. Moon, Coach Burkett for showing me around. It's been 25 years since I stepped back on Northern's campus because my life has taken me coaching other states and other places, and they were so welcoming and showed me around and made me think about some things I hadn't thought about for a long time. So thank you very much, you guys, and I'd like to congratulate the other nominees. I'd like to thank my parents. None of us would be here without the help of our parents. My parents have helped me through this. It was an amazing journey. Your wrestling moms get to do something that no other sports mom gets to do, is watch their kids suffer while they cut weight. My mom hated it. Hated every minute of it, but endured it and supported me and knew that this meant a lot to me. And so a special thanks to Mom for putting up with me while I was doing all those things. I'd like to thank my wife. I didn't meet her till after I left Northern, but through my coaching career, anyone who knows anything about coaching, no coach is successful without an amazing wife. And she's a wonderful life partner and an amazing human being, and wouldn't be here without her. And then, when you get inducted into the Hall of Fame, it's an honor. And I hadn't thought of myself as an athlete for a long time, because I've been coaching for all this time. All I could think, I'm always busy thinking about other people's athletic careers and what they're doing and where they're going. And being a current coach here, coaches are the eternal optimists. I'm already, I'm sitting here at the table before we're doing that, and I'm wondering, I've got 6 kids that I've got to get going when we get back, and how are we gonna get them in shape before the season starts, and all those things, So a lot of times you're thinking about everyone else, and you don't get to look back and think about yourself very often. And so when I got the call and all this, I was really honored and very humbled. And it didn't take me long to really get humbled, because I have 2 sons that Fran mentioned before. Both of them are teenagers. Trevor's a junior in high school, and my other son Trent's a freshman. They didn't make it mostly because my older son Trevor's in the middle of a cross-country season. Their team has won 5 consecutive state championships in cross-country, and he's a real good runner. And I went to the coach as soon as I found out. I said, "Hey, what's going on?" And he says, "Well, this is where we are on our training cycle." And I said, "Okay, I get it. I'm a coach. I get it. I'm not going to step on your stuff. This is more important, because what he's doing is what's important to him. This is important to me." But they're my greatest fans. But I got humbled really quickly by my oldest son, Trevor. I said to him, I said, "Geez, I got inducted in Northern's Hall of Fame," and he looks at me and smiles and says, "That just means you're getting old, Dad." And so I guess he has a chip off the old block that way. But talking about Northern was the best time of my life. And Coach Humble talked about some of the things I got to do as a coach. I've been doing as a coach, and things I got to do as an athlete. But it was the best time of my life, and I tell people this all the time. I would trade everything I have in life, except my wife and my kids, to do this again. It's an amazing experience to be a college athlete. It's the funnest thing you'd ever get to do, and I'd do it again in a second. And I thank Fran Hummel and the people that were here. All these coaches, Fred and Ole, and I remember, they talk about Coach Walks. I'll never forget when I was a freshman, and I'm not even a basketball player. I didn't know if the basketball was round or pointed. I didn't spend much time in that area. But I'm walking down the hall in Dakota Hall, and all of a sudden they're running a practice, and Coach Walks screams at a guy and says, "I want you right here." And I'm trying to find where in the hell he wants me to be at that moment. I thought I was going to die. I wasn't in the right spot. So, but there were wonderful people here at Northern, and they were amazing folks, and and Dr. Kretschmann and some of the things, and we that you could go into the offices and you'd see things that were going on, and visit with those guys and learn. And I had the opportunities to learn from some of the greatest coaches on the planet. You know, my high school coach, Rick Jensen, he was a jackrabbit. I hate to admit that he was a jackrabbit, but he's a national champion at SDSU. Taught me the sport. Okay, and then I had a cross country coach at Rapid City Stevens. His name is Forey Floggin, and Forey taught me the other part about coaching, which is how to care for kids. And then I came here and I met a man, Fran Hummel, that I try to model myself after. And I'm going to cry. But if I'm half the man you ever are, I'll be the happiest man on earth. I was able to use Northern as a springboard into a career that's been amazing, absolutely amazing. As an educator, as a coach, you get to share all these people's best times of their life. You get to go out with those kids and their parents and their families when they're winning state championships and they're doing things that they never thought they could do. And you get to share that. And they pay me to do this. It's amazing. You know, and in Wyoming, guys, they do pay real money, so you know that. It's not the monopoly money they pay you with as teachers in South Dakota. And I spent some time there, and started out in Wall, South Dakota, and got my first check, and I thought, I went to school for 5 years for this. But anyway, and I'm glad that they've done some things in the state to up some teacher salaries and some of those things. That's great to hear. But I got to spend the best times of my life here, and Northern State was just a springboard, like I said, a springboard to opportunities, and a springboard to a great life, and a springboard for me to help so many other kids become men. And those are the things that I learned from all these people here. Even Coach Millsley, Spike would be out there running all over the place, and I never quite understood all the things he did, but what an amazing man, and some of the things he shared with us. And you listen to these guys in your theory of coaching classes, and you listen to all these things, and it was amazing. And the most important thing I ever learned in education came from Coach Hummel in a drugs and alcohol class, and he was talking about it, and just one day randomly said, they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And I went, that makes sense. It made sense. And me being here is a tribute to my parents, to those wonderful people that coached me, to all the people here at Northern, to the people who were able to share in my life. And I'm just glad I've had an opportunity to share in other people's lives. And it's just been the most amazing blessing. The Lord puts people in the right places for you at the right time. And I'm very humbled and honored to have done this and to be here today and to share it with you guys, and thank Northern State for all that they did for me, because like I said, it's the best time of my life, and go Wolves, and it's an amazing experience. Thank you very much.
Okay, we're going to honor our Kretschmann Coaching Award winner this year. It is going to Bill Fritz. This is an award given posthumously as Bill passed away on May 28, 2015. Bill earned a Bachelor of Science in Physical Education degree from NSU in 1960 with a minor in biology. He retired from Rowan College in New Jersey in June 2014 after coaching 43 years. He had been the men's cross-country head coach there since 1971. He guided the women's programs from 86 to 2006. Under Fritz, the men's team won 19 New Jersey Athletic Conference championships and qualified for the national championship 19 times. In '94, Fritz took over as head coach for the track and field programs. The men's team won 4 consecutive NJAC championships and finished tied for the 8th at the '97 NCAA championships. Fritz coached more than 265 All-Americans, including men, women, indoor and outdoor. I have spoken to his wife, Inger, multiple times this last year. She is deeply honored and sends her deepest thanks and appreciation from all their family that is back in New Jersey that could not make the trip. We're going to show a quick video from Rowan now to honor Coach Fritz.
Bill Fritz took over coaching duties for the Glassboro State men's cross-country team in 1971 and instantly turned it into a powerhouse program. The men's team won 19 New Jersey Athletic Conference championships, including 17 straight from 1974 to 1990. The men also qualified for the national championship 19 times.
Bill Fritz's character was beyond reproach. He was one of the nicest guys that probably I've ever encountered in sports.
First side of the year was always pretty relaxed. That was kind of the cool thing, is you could go out to meets and everything, especially when the competitions would get tougher and we'd get towards the end of the season for the championship stuff. He really wasn't the guy that turned up the pressure, because he knew what you were getting into.
Fritz also guided the women's team from 1986 to 2006, where they won 3 straight conference crowns from 1992 to 94. The program also captured its first NCAA Division III Mid-East Region Championship in 1994 and finished 11th overall in the national championship. Fritz was chosen as the NCAA Division III Mid-East Region Coach of the Year 4 times. In 1994, Fritz took over the head coaching position for the track and field programs after serving as its assistant coach for 22 years. The men's team racked up 23 NJAC titles, and Fritz was named the 1997 NCAA Indoor and Outdoor Men's Track and Field Mid-East Region Coach of the Year.
I don't think the man ever had a bad day in his life. He was always in a great mood. He was always level, even keel with athletes and very knowledgeable about his sport. Things he had to say to us about life. Some things are very powerful. How we conduct ourselves before I pressured me, because those are some of the same things that I'm going to have to face in life.
Fritz guided 1 Division I champion, 43 Division III outdoor champions, and 10 Division III indoor champions. The men's outdoor 4x400 meter relay captured the national championship in 2011 and 2012. 4 women won national titles under Bill Fritz, and he coached teams to top 10 finishes in 1996, 1997, 1998, and 2012. Bill Fritz coached more than 300 All-Americans in his 43 years at Rowan and created a legacy that will live forever.
Out of our instructors here at Rowan University, Bill Fritz was one of the top ones. And on this, I would say, especially in our profession, he would be in the top 3. He was a good professor, a good individual, a good coach.
He was a pretty special coach, because a lot of coaches, I think, they like to say that they build an athlete, whereas Fritz is kind of like an artist making a sculpture there, kind of chipping away and making you the best you can be. Not really making you the best you can be, but living the best out of you there.
We view them as our father. Both Fritz and Coach Moore as our father figure. I know I do. So I repent. So they were my sole guardian guidance for me to survive.
Thank you very much, Coach Fritz. I'm going to ask Dr. Downs to come back up tonight to present our final award this evening. Dr. Downs.
Excuse me. Somebody stole the program. Never good. Always have a spare. So for the distinguished alumnus, tonight I'm honored to present Judge Sandra Coleman with the Distinguished Alumni Award. Judge Coleman is a retired judge who began her lifelong mission helping the disadvantaged at NSU. She earned a Bachelor of Science in Sociology with a minor in Criminology in 1978, magna cum laude. During her time at Northern, she was involved with many campus and community activities and volunteered with outreach. She co-founded the first resource center for women in Aberdeen that focused on counseling, job skills, and providing a safe shelter for abused women. She also co-founded the non-traditional student organization on campus for older and/or married students. As a student, Judge Coleman originated a juvenile diversion program with the City Police of Aberdeen and Northern students that provided mentors to area youth to divert them out of the criminal justice system. After graduating from law school, Judge Coleman began her career with the U.S. Department of Justice and the prestigious U.S. Attorney General Honors Graduate Program. She spent the majority of her professional career in the United States Justice Department, first as a trial attorney with the Civil Rights Division, and then as a high-level government executive in the U.S. Department of Justice. Subsequently, she served as a White House attorney and advisor to former President Clinton. In 1997, she was appointed as a federal immigration judge. After retiring from the bench, the Seneca native is still heavily involved in politics and advocacy in Florida. She has studied art with renowned artists all over the world and adds an award-winning artist to her long list of personal and career accomplishments. She lives in South Florida with her husband, Paul Hancock, an attorney with the international law firm of K&L Gates LLP. They have one daughter and one granddaughter. So please, help me in congratulating and welcoming Judge Sandra Coleman to the stage.
Needless to say, I was not a basketball player. I have to bring this down a little bit for me. Hasn't this been wonderful? I mean, really, it's amazing what we've seen tonight with these terrific inductees. I was not much of an athlete, so I'm glad they had another award so I could get one too. I would never have been inducted into the Hall of Fame. I don't know, this is such a wonderful weekend. It's been so exciting and so fun, and tomorrow will be more fun and excitement. I don't know where to start to thank people. Todd Jordry and John Olson, founder, or not founder, but the foundation president and vice president, respectively, came to Hollywood, Florida, where I'm from, and met me at Margaritaville for lunch, and that's how this great ride started. I was very thrilled to be asked to accept this award. Subsequently, I met Lauren Bittner, who's the alumni coordinator for operations, and she was wonderful too. I mean, I talked to her on the phone all the time. I talked to these people, they were so helpful, they were so patient. For example, John Olson, I called him one day and he said, "Can I call you back in about 10 minutes? And when he called me back, he apologized that it was longer than 10 minutes. He said that he was helping a student change his tire. I mean, that's the kind of thing these people at Northern do. They're just kind, caring, wonderful people. Many years ago, Hillary Clinton wrote a book called "It Takes a Village to Raise a Child." And I believe in that concept because I'm one of those children. I had a village. I still have a village. And many of my village members are here tonight at this table on the right, on my right. Family members, friends who are like family. And what's really amazing is these people were with me when I started this journey. In 1974, I know it's really dating me, 1974 when I entered Northern, they were there with moral support and encouragement. And as many of you know, in the 70s, there wasn't a lot of moral support and encouragement for women. But they were there, and they never wavered. And they've been with me for over 40 years now, supporting me and helping me and encouraging me in everything I do. What's really amazing is they all traveled so far to come to be with me tonight. So they're continuing their moral support. And so I'm so grateful. Thank you. Love you. Of course, the most important probably people in my village were my parents, Marjorie and Clifford Coleman. I was raised in a small farming community, you might have heard of Seneca. It had about 200 people then, I think they have 20 now. My parents were wonderful people, and they were simple people. They were farmers, they had 6 kids. We weren't a wealthy family financially, but maybe in other ways. What I learned from them wasn't from a lecture or them telling me something, it was from them leading the way by example. What they did was show me that it doesn't matter how much you have or don't have, you always help someone in need, if you can, and if you're there to see it. And so I learned some good life lessons from my parents, and they helped me develop my values. But it wasn't until I came to Northern in 1974 that I realized you can help people of your choice. You can decide who you're going to help. You can decide how you're going to help them. And that was eye-opening for me. And I was very fortunate to be part of a very small group of students who had grandiose plans and ideas. And we started these programs and projects. Some of them are rather significant, and as Dr. Downs mentioned to you earlier, one was a Better Women's Shelter that we planned and implemented, and I'm very proud of that. But what was really amazing to me was that the Northern State University was very supportive and encouraged us to do any of these plans and projects that we wanted to do. But they didn't just encourage us. There were professors and there were people in administration who actually participated in these programs. And they took a lot of time, and they were very committed. It was amazing. And I think that experience is what really was life-changing for me. It started me on the path to my career. And now, when you look at Northern, 40 years later, I mean, look at the campus. It's just remarkable. It's beautiful. And there's more students, there's more professors, there's more classes, more majors, more scholarships. And when I heard Dr. Downs, our new president, speak yesterday at a luncheon, he said, we can't just recruit these students. We need to nurture them when they get here. And I thought, oh my God, that's what happened to me. You really have to have that as a student, as a young person. You have to have guidance. And so I have to thank Northern as an institution, but as the people in it, to be being part of my village, because it really was a profound effect on me. There's one other person that I'd like to thank, a very important part of my village, and that's my husband, Paul Hancock, who's over here at this table. So he's the only man at the table, so you can see who he is. I met Paul in 1981 when my sister, Penny, who's over here, and I finished law school and moved to Washington, D.C. I wanted to follow my passion, and I started working for the Department of Justice, specifically the Civil Rights Division, because my passion was to join in the fight against racial discrimination in this country. And I learned a lot of lessons from Paul. He was an experienced attorney when I arrived, and he, as a litigation chief, was teaching the young people how to be good litigators. And some of the lessons I learned were, one of them was that integrity is really your best and most important asset, and that you can't take it for granted. You really need to guard it and protect it in all of your life and all of the things you do. He made me become a good attorney by requiring that we all pursue perfection. But by that, he meant that he wanted us to do our very best and to work hard with commitment, with passion, and of course with integrity. And finally, and I think this is a really important part of my life, he taught us how to appropriately use the law to fight injustice against people or on behalf of people who don't have a voice. The least, the last, the lost, the looked over. So Paul, thank you. I love you. So, lest we take ourselves too seriously, I want to tell you one short story and then I'll finish. If you want to get a drink, it's fine. This is a story about a young attorney who had been in practice long enough to really make a name for himself and was quite well known on the national stage. His parents, elderly parents, had a very important legal issue. And this young attorney volunteered to help. And he worked very hard on behalf of his parents, and he was negotiating a resolution for them. And time went on, and things were looking very good. And then there was a bit of a snag in the negotiations. But the elderly Midwestern parents came to their son, and they said, you know, you have really done a remarkable job for us. We are so proud of you. But now that we've hit the snag, do you think maybe we should hire a real lawyer? Thank you all. Good night, and go Wolves.
It's been a great evening. This evening basically confirms that Northern is really a special place. We're proud of all of our honorees as an institution, and we're glad to recognize you this evening. We're also proud of all the individuals that helped shape you, the faculty, staff, and the coaches, everyone that supported our students, the students of yesterday, today, and tomorrow. That's what makes this a very special place. So it's Gypsy Days, and there's a lot of celebrations going on. We're very pleased that you took the time to come spend this evening with us. As a reminder, tomorrow's the parade at 9 a.m. The Alumni Association of Wolves Club hosts a tailgate on the southwest end of Swisher Field that starts at 11 a.m. So we encourage you to stop by for a free lunch and to stay for the football game against Minot State that starts at 2:30. The theme for homecoming this year is look to the future. And what I always like to add to that, and Northern's future is bright. The foundation of Northern was started with everyone in this room, and it's our charge to keep it going and keep it bright. So congratulations to all of you, and best wishes on every continued success. And as we always say, go Wolves.